Marvel Comics' superhero movie Black Panther is breaking box office records and winning accolades from fans and critics alike. But now it's being embraced by yet another group, one that might surprise you. White nationalists, far-right groups, are attempting to twist the inclusive and empowering message of the smash hit movie to promote their own hate-filled ideologies. This, according to a recent study by the Data and Society Research Institute. Joining me now to explain how this is all happening is Becca Lewis, the Institute's researcher who conducted this study. Becca, welcome to you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to talk to you about the study in a moment, but
yes,
for folks who are going to watch and listen to our conversation who have not yet seen the movie, give us a sense of the major themes involved in Black Panther.
Yeah, so Black Panther focuses on a fictional country in Africa called Wakanda. And Wakanda has an amazing resource that no one else in the world has. And so they are able to fly under the radar, essentially escape colonialism and really flourish on their own. But it's a real tension throughout the movie as to whether they should be making themselves known and helping other Black communities throughout the world, or whether they should stay a bit more isolationist.
So let's talk about your study now, all right, and what you found. Because
this has been such a cultural juggernaut, a lot of people in the far-right communities online, specifically the alt-right, but even more broadly than that, they're reacting against the movie. And in some cases, it seems like it's because they're threatened by it. But on the other hand, they're also kind of trying to get in on the action because it has been so popular.
Let me ask you to define, again, for our viewers. We talk about, use terms far-right, alt-right. What are we talking about?
Well, it's kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different communities online. There are white nationalists, who I think people mostly think of when you refer to the alt-right. But there's also, conspiracy theorists, men's rights activists, gamers. There's really a lot of different individual communities that kind of come together in moments like this and really try to work against mainstream popular culture.
I mentioned in the introduction that I'm sure people would be surprised by the fact that these groups are latching onto, in different ways, such a popular film. It's been so popular with Black audiences, and as you said, has embraced themes, important themes, diversity, democracy. What type of embracing are you finding that's being done here?
Well, we have seen a bit more of a predictable response, which is people saying that the movie is anti-white propaganda. They're feeling threatened by the fact that there's, more representation beyond what they're familiar with. But
and that not surprising.
Exactly, not surprising. Okay. The more surprising element we see is that a lot of them are actually embracing the movie, and they are doing so in a way that really kind of co-ops and subverts the themes of Black Panther.
How?
So they have adopted this rhetoric. They're saying that Black Panther is actually an alt-right movie because, if you'll remember, when I was talking about Wakanda, it's a country that stays a bit separate from the outside world. They're saying that that reflects the ethno-nationalism, the isolationism, and the anti-immigration ideas that they embrace.
So they're saying this is what we want, essentially? We want African Americans to leave here and migrate and have their own nation someplace?
Yeah, a lot of them identify as ethno-nationalists, which means they want nation states that are defined based on ethnicity. So for them to see a nation state that's, entirely, and by design, filled with only Black people or Africans, to them that's a positive. Of course, this is a very deliberate misreading of the movie and everything it represents.
How is this being played out in the digital world, in the online world?
So you saw, actually, as far back as I believe it was June in 2017, there were some YouTubers who started making videos about the movie, and they started to circulate a meme also saying Black Panther is alt-right. It showed the Black Panther wearing a red cap like the Make America Great Again hats, but it said Make Wakanda Great Again, and it kind of goes through a checklist of all of these points that they think the movie represents. Now, they are very media savvy. They also use internet humor a lot to try to recruit people. So
how do you mean?
Well, they have a real subculture online on places like 4chan and 8chan, basically internet forums where they congregate. They use a lot of ironic humor, and a lot of times they'll say things that are ironically or what they think of as humorous, with an underlying strain of racism or sexism.
But
and
then allows them to say, we were only kidding.
Exactly. It provides a shield. But for anyone that does take it seriously, then it acts as this open door for them to kind of step in and become new recruits. So you saw a lot of that happening with this. They know it's ridiculous to say that Black Panther is actually an alt-right movie, but they also know that it can provide this kind of open door for people. And for YouTubers who just post videos saying, my thoughts on Black Panther, they know that it might draw people in who are just looking for reactions to the movie.
So how do the folks behind the movie, the supporters of the movie, the supporters of the themes, the positive themes of the movie, how do they combat something like this?
Well, I think what's really important to remember, and what people talk about who are supporting the movie, is the movie and the depiction of Wakanda is all about responses to colonialism, responses to racism. It's all about these long-standing power dynamics and how the Black community can and should respond to that. The only way that the alt-right or the far-right interpretation makes sense is if racism in our modern society doesn't exist, and that's obviously not true.
Sadly, we know that's not the case anymore. Becca, it was a fascinating study and interesting. We appreciate your coming in and sharing some of your thoughts with us.
Thanks so much.
You take care.